What's good? What's good, everybody? Well, welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and you check out the content. And man, I saw a recent clip of this guy right here, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Right now, this man, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf was a bad dude. Uh, I first I first remember him from he went to LSU. And as a freshman in LSU, man, he just lit it up. I think he's like about like 5'10, maybe 5'11. But this guy, man, he had he could pull up from anywhere and shoot. Then on top of that, his first step was just mean. Um, he had a crossover, nice crossover. And at 5'10, he was just so fast and so explosive. He was able to create space and he could score on anybody, right? This is when he was at LSU. When he first got to LSU, his name was Chris Jackson, right? And as a freshman, he just lit it up. He was so good at LSU that he was so good at LSU that he was the man. Even when Shaq came there, I think he when Shaq got to LSU, Chris Jackson was a sophomore, and I had seen Shaq play in the McDonald's All American game, and Shaq was that dude. No question about Shaq was that dude. But when even though Shaq was that dude, Chris still was the man on the team. That's how good he was, right? And so I came across this video where Mahmoud was talking about, like what his impact on LSU when he first got there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to play the video, then I'm gonna come back, man, and just give some more of my thoughts and what I remember of Chris Jackson. Let me see if I can all right, here we go.
I ended up, man, having my first game was like 13. I was just trying to feel things out, but I felt I could have did a whole lot more. Second game, I had 21. That's when Dale stopped me going into the locker room. He said, "Look, Chris," he said, at the time, he said, "we need you to score more." I said, "Coach, I'll try." And that third game, I had 48. The fourth game, I think 30, whatever. And then the fifth game of Florida, that's when it was, nationally televised. They were the number one team in the SEC. I had 53. And fouled out three of their guards. And then that's when it exploded for me. And I still, man, I'm like, wow, I look back. But the reason why it was so hard for me, brothers, is this. I could never embrace success the whole time I was there. I could never get comfortable with it because I was always thinking that something's going to happen to me.
Too good to be
This
true.
is too good to be true. And I started reflecting the older I got, and I said, this is why. And this is why I'm so adamant with trying to educate myself and just share as much information as possible. Because I said, man, I was like, what caused me to think this way? They say our society, our environment, and the people around have a way of molding and shaping us. And I said, we used to watch Sanford and Son and Good Times on a continuous basis. And they were always either in the junkyard or the ghetto. And they were always trying to get out. And every time something was about to happen that would get them out the ghetto, something would happen to kick them right back in.
Yeah.
Every show. I said, man, this seems like a social conditioning. And so I started to look at all the stuff I was listening to and learning and studying. I said, this is where this came from.
Yeah, man. And so now his freshman year at LSU, I'm gonna talk about his freshman year at LSU. I mean, he was the man on the LSU campus. He was the man on the LSU team. And like I said, even when Shaq came, it wasn't a problem like as far as like chemistry between the two. Like Shaq was still able to get his numbers and do his thing at LSU. And Chris Jackson still was able to light it up, man. I never seen nobody like I compared, let me see, like, and I seen a lot of really good guards, man, that came through college best. I remember watching Stephon Marbury, Kenny Anderson. Yeah, man, and those guys was great. But this guy right here, in my opinion, man, I mean, as far as like a per score, like Stephon Marbury even said, man, this guy right here was just a tough cover. He was a tough cover. And he just was a professional from day one. And even up until this day, I think like he plays what's that called? The Big Three, that league that Ice Cube have, right? And he was playing that up until like he was playing that in his mid 50s. And he is just so efficient in his movements that he playing with guys probably like about 20 years younger than him, and he's still able to in his mid 50s create separation, um, and get his shots off, right? He still know how to move around the court. Man, this guy right here, if you have a chance, anybody who have a chance to learn from this guy right here, anybody who have a chance to study a guy like this right here, man, it's just crazy. Like the way this guy shoots. Like I remember listening to him one time, and he was saying that he want all his shots to go all nets, and he would shoot so many times that like if the shot didn't go all bottoms or touch all nets, then that shot wouldn't count. So it might hit, hit the rim or and bounce around a little bit. He didn't even count those shots. He wanted every shot that he shot. And he would shoot hundreds of shots a day, and they had to be all bottoms, man. This guy right here is just a perfectionist, um, a professional basketball player. And I thought when when Mahmoud Raul was in the league that he didn't get as much credit, and I think part of that was like, because of his religious beliefs, right? Because he had changed his name from Chris Jackson to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. And that right there, I think if he hadn't changed his name, I don't know how that would have affected his career, but this guy was the real deal. And you could tell he was the real deal because anybody that would have had Shaq on their team, like Shaq just would have consumed every, you know what I mean? He just would have took over in any, like on any college campus, he would have took over. But Chris just was so um Mahmoud was just so good, man, that you really, you couldn't, nothing you could do with him. And I really enjoy, in my opinion, I just really enjoy watching this guy play because he was one of the best guards I ever seen play basketball as far as scoring. You had this guy could create his own shot, and he was so much more efficient. Like I said, I can like Stephon Marbury was fast and strong and could blow by you and get to the rim, and he could pull up. But this guy right here was just so efficient. Like he had the efficiency of somebody who was probably like about, I'd say about like 6'6", 6'7", whereas though he can just score in a small area without doing a whole bunch of dribbling. He would dribble either left or dribble right and try to pull up on you. I remember when I was young and I used to watch him, I tried to pattern my game after his. But it was crazy, man, because it was hard because you'll try to dribble left, pull up, dribble right, pull up. And I'm 6'1", right? And I know I'm taller than him. He probably, like I said, about 5'11". He might be 6 feet. I doubt if he's 6 feet. But at his height, it's just hard, especially when you got guys who are taller than you and fast. He had a quick release, and he and a crazy first step, where as though he can just, once he dribbled hard to the left or hard to the right, he had lost you already. And by the time you recovered, he had shot the ball and it was gone. Man, let me see who else had a freshman year in college, like Mark Macon. I'm going way back. Mark Macon played around the same time he played, right? And Mark Macon played with the Temple Owls with John Chaney. And Mark Macon was like that. Like he had that pull-up jumper and was so smooth. But Mark Macon didn't have that explosiveness, right? And at the next level, at the NBA level, he wasn't able to create that separation. Whereas though Mark Macon at the college level, he could pull up hard, go either hard left, hard right, pull up and get his shot off. But at the NBA level, Mark Macon wasn't able to do it like Mahmoud was. Man, this guy was just, he was bad, man. He was bad. So yeah, man, I just wanted to react to that video because you don't really see nobody. You don't see guys like him no more. This guy was like a one off for real. You don't see guys like him anymore. And even into his 50s, he still was able to get his shot off and score on other professional basketball players. I watched him in that Big Three league, man. And he still was dominant and very effective. So that's my take on this guy, man. This guy is like was and definitely he was ahead of his time. And so that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.